Hello everyone and welcome to Knife Craze, and today we're going to be taking a look at an extreme budget knife that I picked up at a mom and pop dollar store for roughly $2. Now this same knife can be found in the black color at Dollar Tree, but I did not get this at Dollar Tree. I got it at an independently run dollar store, and as you see it's green. So this is a folding knife, and I'm not sure at all, in fact I have no idea what type of blade steel it uses. It's most likely something very cheap, something made in China, and the only clue we have to go on is stainless, right there. Like I said, it's just probably a cheap Chinese steel, or maybe even a really cheap 440. I'm not sure how rust or corrosion resistant this is, but I'm guessing not much. Now the blade, sorry this is upside down, the blade is almost 3 inches long, with the cutting area being about 2 1/4 inches long. So it's not a very big blade, but if you live in Canada where the knife laws are kind of, misunderstood, and where the whole length restriction thing comes into play, this is a good thing, right? You don't want to be caught with too big of a knife on you in Canada, because the way cops are over here, they'll take it off you. Another thing about the blade, as you can see, it is a combination edge, which is kind of nice. Which is kind of nice. You wouldn't expect that on a cheap knife. I guess they thought, at the factory where they make these, hey, we're doing quantity over quality. Let's at least throw in some cool, useful details. Now, some people, in fact, a lot of people don't like the serrated edges. Me, I don't care. A knife is a knife. But this is kind of a combination edge. You have about, let me just get my ruler out again. You have about 1 3/4 inches of serrations, and you have, let's just say, a 1/2 inch of straight edge. So that's perfectly fine. That's far enough, the straight edge I mean, to fit into a package, cut the tape, or put into a letter, cut the paper, and get out what you want. And the serrations, that's perfectly long enough to go through something like rope. Now, is this thing going to take a good edge? Probably not, due to the cheap steel. If it's heat treated, it's probably got a really poor heat treatment, so it probably won't take a good edge. But you know what, you never know. I've actually never tried sharpening this, so it might be an excellent knife in terms of blade retention, but probably not. Now, another thing about the blade is it has dual thumb studs, as you can see, which is kind of nice, because even though I got this knife here for about $2, and the M-Tech I last reviewed was $20, which is ridiculous for a cheap piece of crap knife. That one only had one thumb stud, this one has two. So if you're lefty or righty, don't matter, it'll work, right? And another thing about the blade is, yes, the blade has a very similar shape to that of one of the Spyderco knives. I don't own any Spyderco knives, just the blade reminds me of a Spyderco folder, so that's another detail to point out. About the brand, like I said, if I haven't said yet, but I'm not sure what the brand is. It was just labeled as folding knife, but there is an eagle or a hawk right there on the grip. So that's about our only clue to go on as to what brand this is. The locking mechanism is a lockback, which again is pretty nice, because you'd expect them to just make a cheap liner lock, incorporate the lock into the handle skills, but they couldn't do that because these handle skills are plastic. So it is kind of nice. It is kind of nice to have a lockback. Yes, I said knife instead of knife, and you know what? That's okay. It's a knife channel. But yeah, lockback over liner lock on a cheap knife, lockback wins any day. This lockback over a liner lock on a expensive folding knife, that liner lock wins any day. But at least there is a lock on this blade, and it doesn't fall out too easy. I don't think it'd fall out. I've rarely used this, so everything's still pretty tight on there. Very little blade play. Up and down blade play. Nothing. There's a lanyard hole there, so you could put this on your keys if you wanted to. and you get a pocket clip. Now this is kind of a strange pocket clip. It's a tip up carry instead of the tip down carry that you normally get. But at least there's a pocket clip, at least there's thumb studs, at least there's a lock and a lock back of all types of locks, and at least there's a lanyard hole. So personally, I don't think it's that bad of a knife. If you're strapped for cash and you need something to replace your previous EDC knife, I don't think you can go wrong with this. I mean, if you're only using it for light duty tasks, I don't think you can go wrong with this at all. I really don't. So it's time to rate this knife. Honestly, I give this knife a 5 out of 10 star rating because of the details they decided to add on. The dual thumb studs, the combination blade, the lock back, the lanyard hole, and the pocket clip. It's missing 5 stars because it's cheap as hell and it probably won't take a very good edge. But there you go, guys. I'm just going to call this the Dollar Tree folding knife, and there's my review of it. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It'll help me out a lot. Subscribe to my channel to see awesome content in the future, and have yourselves a great day.